This is day 111 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming share of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi or more, please contact me directly. It would be very much appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Ayin Gimel Sif Aleph through Siman Ayin Dalet Sif Dalet. Ayin Gimel Aleph. Well, there's a Yashim Nei Bnei Yisrael Eichus Tam Kriyash Shema. If you're sleeping together with members of your household, then how do you read Shema? Aleph. Shnayim Sheyishem B'Talis Echad. If two people sleeping in the same talis, the same outer garment, the same blanket, will be the same thing. And the flesh of each one touches the other. Meaning that they're sleeping naked, but and they're coming as one talis. They are not allowed to read Shema and talk words of Torah. Because their flesh touches each other, and there is possibilities of inappropriate thoughts. Ben sheshochem panim when they're lying face to face. Ben sheshochem achar back to back. Kol sheyesh negias hagufim uzel lazeh. Anytime the bodies are touching each other, asur. That's forbidden. Matakarasam. What's the eitzah? What should they do? Sheyavsiku b'nei b'talis. They should divide themselves between themselves. The talis must neim from their hips ulamata. To the downwards at sofa guf, to the end of the body. Bialoch is not sure if you mount it certainly to the end of the body, which will include obviously the feet. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. From above the hips, it's not an issue. The Rishon Leka Hirur and that there is no hirur, no lascivious thought by touching each other above the hips. When there's an interruption, mutar. It's permissible even like face to face. You can't ask, well, aren't they not allowed to read Shema anyway? The game of so ever since they're naked, we have this problem of their heart sees the erva, which it's usher. That's why we have to have like some sort of belt to as a chatzitza. There's also talking about a case where they use the blanket in order to be the chatzitza on their heart, for their heart. The mutter, as is permissible, kamoshi is born b'siman aydal, as we will learn in the next siman. Near Pash, it seems clear, the kozak shaguvin nogim zeh zeh. This is only if the bodies touch each other, the beinam nogim. If they're not touching, ein tzorich hafsakas talos. You don't need the interruption of talos. Some people say the punim, if it's face to face, I feel beinam nogim. If they're not touching each other, tzorich hafsakas talos. Need to have an interruption by a talis. Sheshochem v'kiruv if they're lying close together. Lo yadati tam l'chumra zu. I don't know a reason for such a chumrah. Says the Arukh HaShulchan. Chumrah is in the name of the Pri Megadim. He does not. Arukh HaShulchan rejects it. They're lying dressed in it's mutar no matter what. The Shabbat does say like the Pri Megadim that. Panim Keneged Panim, even if they're not touching, you can have sukkahs talis when they're clear by. But he does bring down the Bir Aloch, and Mama Mordechai is Mesupik in this. And of course, as we said here, the Arukh HaShulchan is make it all together, Panim Keneged Panim, where they are not nogim, not touching. Base. If he was sleeping, that's when you're sleeping with other people unclothed. But he was sleeping with your wife, ain't sukkah sukkahs talis. You don't require an interruption of a talis. His wife is like himself. And he's accustomed to her, like a hero, and there is no lascivious thought. Nevertheless, panim keneged panim. If it's face to face, also will have sukkahs talis. Then it's forbidden without the interruption of the talis. If she's naked face to face with her husband, yeshi, or there is lascivious thought. They should rather turn away from each other. Even though they touch each other naked from behind, it's not an issue. Chazal say agavos, the buttocks, aim bohem mishum erva. There's no issue of erva with them. Agavos mikra nigia charayim zelazeh, and agavos is defined as touching back to back. If one of them is turning back towards, turning their back to the other, and one is not, the one who's turning is permitted, and the other one is also, and the other one is forbidden. The Mishnah Berurah says that this is only true if his flesh does not touch her erva, her genital area. Okay. Some say that a woman, also his wife, is also the halach is like another person. Also, love sucker's talus, and it's forbidden without the interruption of a talus. I feel about the even if they're facing away from each other. It's appropriate to be choshish for this day. It makes sense. Pashu the gamazeh, you don't have a sucker's talus a libo. And obviously, in this case, you also require a talus on his heart, as we'll see next. Siman, that his heart should not see his genitals. As well known, women do not require this. Again, it's going to be clarified that women do not have this issue. Gimel, some people say the b'di'evet, if you already did it, when they read Kriya Shema without interruption of talus, put him face to face. Don't even with someone else who's not his wife. They will fulfill the obligation. But Yesh in fact, somebody unsure about this. The Nira Ika Kederi Shoyna. Arukh HaShulchan says, but it's okay. The Arukh HaShulchan, the Mishnah Bura, was not machriya if it's okay or not, but the Arukh HaShulchan is machriya. He determines that it is okay with the Yevet. The only time we find somebody has to go back and read Shema a second time is when they had to go to the bathroom and did not. The Zebach Rishoyim Toeva. That we supply the pasuk of the sacrifice of a wicked person is repugnant. Or if he had actually contact with excrement. As we will see later on. Which is very degrading. But here is just a concern. This concern with inappropriate thought. Father and because you certainly not to go back and read. The early oath, it seems to be furthermore that I feel believe erva. Even if his heart sees his genitals, answer close. Okay, even though we're makbid on this, that the heart should not see your genitals, nevertheless, you do not have to go back and read if you did. Therefore, we did not find an opening or revelation for these laws. That you should have to go back or to read or to daven. For Raila said, "Bakan hira mutar b'divrei Torah," and the evidence of this is that in this situation, which we're discussing, you're allowed to think the thoughts of Torah, and also b'chein liba b'roas ha'erva, or even when your heart sees your genitals, you're allowed to think with thoughts of Torah. Because g'dolei achronim, like Avraham Prichot is right. Which is not true when you're walking through a place which is repugnant. And certainly when you have to go to the bathroom. Came to hear a mutar. So since you're allowed to think thoughts of Torah in these places, under these circumstances, whether the naked situation or the libor or situation, so it follows logically, and he says there, in the brackets, it follows logically that if you read Shema or daven in that situation, you do not have to go back. Dalit, if you're sleeping with your sons when they're still young, you can read Shema by turning away from them below sukkah's talis, without the interruption of talis. And you can tell him if they are adults, you need to have the interruption of a talis. And turning away is required even by smaller children, because otherwise, there's a possibility of inappropriate thoughts when the father and the child's genitals might touch each other. That goes to Shri in the third parak of Broches. That feel no get even if the father and young child's genitals touch each other, it's not a problem. There is no hero ayin sham. The Chayra would seem Gemara Mashal Hediyakin. Because the Gemara, it seems the Gemara is practically explicit that way. Because in Daf Chav Dalet, the Bana would say about his children, Lo Yisker Klach Zaras Pani, doesn't say anything about turning away, Ayin Sham. I came out to a Shulchan Aruch Pasuk Tzar Chazor's Panim. We got Rambam Mashma came, but since the big guns seem to require Chazor's Panim, Hachi Kaim Alon, that you should be turned the way. Merely the Dafka Shem going Tzas. It's only when they're a bit older than toddlers. Kivnei Sholosh v'Arba, when they're 3 or 4. Apachad when he said, but less than that, Ein Chashash B'Davar, there's no issue in which to be concerned. Hey, Akami Chashuv Ktani. At what age are children considered to be minors? Hatinok Hachu Bo Yud Beis Shonim, a boy for this purpose until he's 12, a year before Mitzvah. Hatinok is a girl actually Elish Yud Aleph Shonim until she's 11. I feel like we stay so as mutter, and even if they already have 2 hairs on their body, they are still considered Kitani. This Oros Shekodim is man Luson, hair which comes before the appropriate time, Lav Klum they don't count. B'shnasu Gimel Tinok, you base the Tinokas, if you're in the 13th year already of the Tinok and you base the Tinokos, the 13th year for a, in other words, that's after the 12th birthday, right? Before we're talking about up until 12 years old and up until 11 years old. Now, after the 12th birthday, during the 13th year, and you basically know because after the 11th birthday, during the 12th year, you may view stay soros also will have say. If they have 2 hairs, it's also to reach Shema without an interruption. Being loy view stay soros, they not have 2 hairs, mutter it's permissible. From 13 and on, as Arukh HaShulchan was specified many times, when the 13 years are completed, when the 12 is completed for a girl, I feel like even if they not have 2 hairs, also it's forbidden. Can't boss go to a Shulchan Aruch. The near the zed the bas you base mutak shleviyash that a girl who's in her 12th year, i.e. between 11 and 12, is permitted if she doesn't have hairs. Zel imima. That's with them still lying in bed with their mother. The mavia also ishkavi mavkir basar. With her father, she's not allowed at that age to lie naked with him in a bed. Conversely, the son here we're talking about with the father. The mimo also, because his mother, he's not allowed to lie naked at that age either. Bekan lo ma'irinon rakli and kriya shema. Here we're only talking about in terms of shema. In Shaman ke'ervos, if it's considered to be a form of erva, of inappropriate nakedness, and in these halachos, all 2 bodies are the same. Both to women and to men. It doesn't matter that they should not and probably don't have time for each other. There still is the prohibition of the proximity of the nakedness. Siman Ayin Dalet, Din Libo Rosh Erva. Allah when the heart perceives the genitals. Okay, Charava and the other limbs as well. Aleph, it says, Kitete Machaneh, when you go out to war, an encampment, Hashem goes in through your camp, and therefore your camp should be holy. No nakedness should be seen within your camp. Mavur, from here it's clear, the Mechom Makom Sheish Kushas Hashem, anytime when God's holiness is present, just such as a camp in wartime, Sharon Vashem Munach Sham. Because it used to be that the Aron, one of the 2 Aronos, would go to war. Hashem and the name Hashem, Amunach Sham, the other 2 they were inside the camp. Kavur to accept the Sota Perak Zion. Al Plasuki Hashem, Elokechem Holechim Achem. God goes with you. That we take this with us. Zeu Hashem Shemaron. The Medrash says, we take God with us. God goes with us in the name which is in the Aron. Chemavur Besoita. I believe it's the name of Membeis, which was written in the Aron, besides for the Sefer Torah therein. We're commanded 2 things. One, that the camp should be holy. Anybody who had to defecate, come first b'Torah Sham. You have to leave the camp, as the Torah says. This will deduce that Now, the excrement should not be seen in a holy place. The second one, that no nakedness should be seen in a holy place. Now, you might say Erbas Dover is not literal, it's going on sins, which is how includes translated. Nevertheless, since the Torah here describes an Avera as an Erva, so it's certainly true that an Erva should not be seen in the camp of holiness. Base became not feel machane since even the camp, the person for Beitim, made him goes without saying, person standing of davening, or Korean Kriya Shema, or reading Shema, or Mevarech, or makes a bracha, Shemaskir Shema Kadosh, come upon him, when he mentions the name, the holy name several times, Mechavin Libo La Hashem, and he directs his heart at HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shetzorah She'amakom She'svivo, that there must be the place around him, yet Noki, should be clean, Mishnei Dvarim Elu, from these two things, Mitzoah U'Me'arva, from excrement and from nakedness. The Chos Vivo Pshita Davik Amach Neshchina Beis Maaseh. When you're davening saying Shema, your entire environs are considered to be a place of Kedusha. The Torah, the Chazal and Shabbos Kuf Gimel inferred from the words of the Torah that in one respect, excrement is more severe than nakedness. The B'tzoam Torah, regarding excrement, the Torah says, your camp should be holy. And that implies that also learning Torah is forbidden in the case where there's excrement. Davar, right? Erbas Davar, right? So where's the Davar come to Darshan? The Dibur also here mutter. In the place of an erva, you're not allowed to speak words of Torah or daven or learn out loud, but you are allowed to. It's a Kriya allowed, but you're allowed to think words of Torah. Ein Sham. There's a fundamental concept of all the many halachas in this matter. The kol min limud Torah. Any form of learning Torah, hein shebiksav, whether written law, hein shebapeh, the oral law, hein medrash, hein zohar, hein shayis b'kodesh, also lamdam bios echad mishnei dvarim elu. You can't learn them in when there are these things here, which is the Chol Divrei Torah Shmos B'Shem Kedoshim, because all Divrei Torah are shuffled, mixed up names, holy names of Kodesh Baruch Hu. Kayadua, as is well known. It means you can't learn, at least orally, any of these things. Gimel, Laman we said the B'Shorach Shekori Kriya Shema or Mispal. From this we learn. The time person is reading Shema or Mispal or is davening. Or Mevarach is making bracha or Lomei Torah is learning Torah. Asul Yos Nega Einav Ezamin Erva Gluya. There cannot be any revealed nakedness opposite him. Ben Shel Zachar, Ben Shel Geva, whether it's male or female. There shouldn't be seen within you the nakedness, a manner of nakedness. Klomar, meaning kach, b'cha, sorry. In your personal machaneh shchina, nakedness should not be seen. The koshkein erva so meguleh, and it goes without saying, if your own genitals are revealed, so even you don't see it, that is forbidden. Also, if your friend's genitals are revealed and you close your eyes not to see it, it's not effective. They should not be seen within you. The loksiv lo tira doesn't say don't look, so it should not be seen. Berusha means lo yir ro becha ervas davar. Nobody should see in your midst. And ervas davar when God is going amidst your camp when it's the time of kedusha. Dalit. And the ini isa zeh hu midah raisa. It's a Torah level prohibition. But we don't give you malchus. We don't flog you if you transgress it. Because there's no act involved. We only give malchus for lav. Says Queen Rabbi Yehuda, of course, for the lav sheyesh bo ma'isa. Bir Locha says, but nevertheless, we give you malchus margus, which is malchus to rabbanan. We don't give you malchus to raisa. We give you malchus to rabbanan, which can be more severe, of course, because malchus to raisa limited to 39, malchus to rabbanan are not. And he also says that he's possible for this. It's possible if he does this, I guess, consistently, to be an aid mid rabbanan. Back to the Arukh HaShulchan. Tzorah having a say, by Tzorah, there's a positive command, Yamech Kadosh. V'Yisurim Elu Chamurim Mishar Yisurim Yeshes Abizol Shamayim. Can move on. Interesting. He says, even though the Yisurim are not the tip-top prohibitions of the Torah, but they're severe, because there's a degradation of Kavod Shamayim. Utfilas to when his tefillah is repugnant, the Tzorach Lasois Pelani has to go back and daven again. Chem Kriya Shema. The same in Shema. Yesh Pirti Dinim is Bar B'Siman Ayin Vav. And there will be more details which will be clarified later on.